Okay. Obligations of the depositor. Article 1992. We have here, this talks about expenses. No? If the deposit is gratuitous, the depositor is obliged to reimburse the depositary for the expenses on the preservation of the thing deposited. Dito makikita natin kasi wala nang bayad yung deposit. Of course, if you are the depositary, you may incur expenses for the preservation of the thing. Dito, take note, sa comodatum, if the deposit is valuable, the rule is different in comodatum. Iba po yun. Basta preservation, doon po yun siya sa use. And preservation doon sa, tawag ito, sa borrower. If the deposit is for valuable consideration, the expenses for the preservation are borne by the depositary because they are deemed included in the compensation. So take note, sino ba ang gagastos? Article 1992 answers the question of who will incur expenses for the preservation of the thing deposited. The answer is, it depends upon the kind of deposit. If the deposit is gratuitous, it is the depositor. Okay? Kasi nga, sabi dito, depositary muna, pero i-reimburse siya ng depositor. Pero, if the deposit is for consideration, compensation, may bayad, then ang magbayad ng expenses for preservation of the thing deposited would be the depositary, kasi sabi ng batas, included na yan siya sa bayad. The depositor shall reimburse the depositary for any loss arising from the character of the thing deposited at the time of the deposit. Anong mangyari po dito? Deposito. In Article 1993, the situation is like this. Ikaw po yung depositor, nag-deposit ka ng bagay sa depositary, at the time na dineposit mo, hindi mo siya in-advise na fragile or delicate or combustible ba yung mga dineposit nyo. And after that, may nangyari. So you will be liable. The depositor shall reimburse the depositary for any loss arising from the character of the thing deposited unless at the time of the deposit, the former or the depositor is not aware or was not expected to know of the dangerous character of the thing, or he notified the depositary of that thing, or the depositary was aware and still he did not advise the depositor. So yun po yung obligasyon ng depositor if something would happen because of that deposit, or the nature or character of the deposit, or the thing deposited, and he did not advise the depositary of something. Now, pag hindi ka nakabayad sa fee ng deposit, the depositary has the right to retain that thing deposited. Unlike sa comodatum. Sa comodatum may utang ka. Ako po yung lender. Pinahiram kita ng sasakyan. Eventually, namutang po ako. Due date na ng utang ko, hindi kita binayaran. Due date na ng pagbalik mo ng sasakyan, hindi mo binalik. Hindi po pwede yun. Because, again, the obligations there are not reciprocal. They are founded on two separate and distinct obligations. One is comodatum, the other one is simple loan or mutuo. But here, if the depositary is not paid, sabi dito, the depositary may retain the thing deposited until the full payment due to pay. Extinguishment of deposit. So, when you say extinguishment, tapos na po ang deposit. Wala na po. Obligations are terminated. And what are the two instances under Article 1995 that the deposit is extinguished? One, loss or destruction of the thing deposited. Obviously, there is no such, wala na po tayo ng subject of the contract of deposit, and therefore, the obligation is terminated. The contract of deposit is terminated. The obligation is extinguished. In case of gratuitous deposit upon the death of either the depositor or the depositor. Take note, pag gratuitous po ang deposit, wala pong bayad. If something happened either to the depositor or the depositary, any of that or both of them dies, tapos na po ang deposit. Unlike if the deposit is for compensation, then in here, in this instance, the rights of the depositor who dies or the right of the depositary who dies are transmitted to their respective heirs. Yan po. Other grounds for extinguishment, return of the thing. Wala na po. Novation. You know what's novation? Nagbago na po ang kanilang usapan. The old agreement has been novated by the new one. Merger, meaning to say the person of either the depositary or of the depositor has merged into one. Malamang nabili ng depositary ang subject matter or malamang so na-merge sa kanya. Okay? So that is an exact expiration of the term and fulfillment of the resolutory condition. So death, take note, ito, importante po ito, depende po yan. Whether or not the death of the depositor or the depositary terminates their obligation and would result to the termination of the contract of deposit would depend on the nature of the deposit. If it is gratuitous, wala na po. Tapos na ang deposit. If it is for compensation, then transmitted po ang rights and even the obligation of either the depositary or depositor who died to their respective heirs, as I said earlier. Kinds of deposit, malapit na po tayo. Necessary deposit, sabi natin, necessary kasi hindi voluntary. Kailangan in compliance with the legal obligation or in occasion of calamity, fire, storm, floods, pilferage, shipwreck. Kaya nga yung example natin palagi, nasunugan na kami, nanakawan pa kami. Kasi pag sunog yan, kung sinong nandun, kumuha yan siya, dapat sa kanya yun, necessary deposit yan. Ibalik mo yan kung sino may-ari no. Hindi mo yan sa'yo. Okay, sunog, kanya-kanya na. Dapat may ganong batas. Pag may sunog, kanya-kanya kakot. Hindi naman ganon, di ba? So, again, the ownership is maintained by that owner and therefore, whoever comes into possession of those goods because of fire, storm, etc., will have it as part of necessary deposit. So we have here, voluntary, made, na-discuss na natin ito kanina. Necessary, maliban dito, compliance with legal obligation, occasion of calamity, mayroon pa tayo hotel at saka sa common area. Now, necessary deposit, ito yung sinabi natin kanina, kung balikan natin, ito po yun. When can we say that, walang problema dito po, calamity, obvious, it is very easily, madali lang itong intindihin. Ito naman sa number 2, in legal compliance with legal obligation. Ito po yung mga instances. Judicial deposit, sabi natin, legal obligation being the subject of the litigation. Creditor uses the same without authority of the owner. Suits, guarantee contracts. So these are considered as necessary deposit. Occasion of calamity, na-discuss na natin kanina. If A saves the TV or B from fire, A is supposed to be a depositary, necessary deposit, not an owner. Deposit by travelers in hotels and inns. So pag nasa hotel ka at saka sa inn or inn ka, ang lahat ng gamit na dinala mo dyan ay considered as deposit. Ang hotel or inn are depositary. Sila po ay under obligation of necessary deposit. Keepers of hotels or inns shall be responsible for the depositaries provided may notice na binigay sa kanila kung anong mga bagay ang dala sa hotel or inn or to their employees. So, yun po ang requirements. Again, necessary deposit sa hotel provided the depositor notifies the hotels, inns, or their employees of the effects brought by the guests. Okay? Yan po ang obligation. Now, may mga hotel po or inns, like sa Subic, yung pagpunta namin, ang hotels or inns doon, separate po yung kanilang parking. Kasi nga limited ang space. Pag dito ka, pag check-in mo sa hotel, ma'am, saan po yung parking? Sir, nakikita mo yan sa harap, may guard doon po yung parking, sir. I-assist ka niya. Pag may nangyari sa aking sasakyan doon, liable pa din sila. Or pupunta ka sa hotel, of course, dala mo yung ano mo, animals. Nandun yung paborito mong pusa. Si R1, si Lance, dala ko. Hindi mo naman pwede dalhin sa hotel yan, sa loob ng hotel. Kasi nga, may mga hygiene matters or mga allergic reaction. So, mayroong separate places for that. Dinala doon. May nangyari, liable pa din sila. Under Article 1999, hotel keeper is liable for vehicles, animals, and articles which have been introduced or placed in the annexes of the hotel. So kahit nandun pa yan siya, for as long that is an annex of the hotel or property of the hotel, liable pa yan sila. What are the elements again before the hotel keepers are liable? They have been previously informed about the effects brought by the guest. Ma'am, ganito po, may dala po kaming dito, ganito, ganyan. Guests have taken precautions prescribed regarding the safety. Now, take note again, liability is not limited only to the hotel room. Sa loob ng rooms, hindi po. Clothing hindi po includes annexes sa mga hotel. Take note, travelers and guests are considered same, but does not apply to non-transient. Kasi ngayon may mga ano na may mga hotels na lalo na pag low season na mayroon na silang monthly or even annually or trimester or year biannually. For 6 months, instead kuha ka ng apartment, parehas na naman yung price, may offer dito sa hotel for 6 months, hindi ka ma-considered as transient doon. Ang sabi nun, magiging rules on lease ka na. Pero on a day-to-day basis, yan po yung sinasabi. So kung pag non-transient ka na lease, ang go-govern sa'yo is rules on lease, not on deposit. Now, the responsibility referred there would be, again, cost. The responsibility referred to in the two preceding articles shall include loss of or injury to the personal property of guests caused by the servants or employees of the hotels, as well as strangers. So, yung mga strangers, sino yung strangers? Strangers are not related to you when you check in the hotel. Mga other hotel guests also. Pag sila po ang responsible for the loss or destruction or injury to your personal property, including the servants or employees of hotels or inns, then liable po yan sila. But not which may proceed from any force majeure. Of course, alam natin the general rule. If force majeure po yan, walang pong liability. Robbery, pag nanakaw, it's not considered force majeure unless through arms or irresistible force. So, sa for example, vegan. Nandun kami ni Sir Jun sa vegan. Tapos mayroon kaming hotel. And then, sa hotel doon may veranda. Na veranda, pwede na akyatin, di ba? Papasok na doon sa sliding door. Although nothing happened, just for the purposes of discussion. If someone pumasok doon, dumaan at nagnakaw sa gamit namin, liable po yung hotel. Because sabi dito sa Article 2001, the act of a robber or thief was entered into hotel is not considered as force majeure kung hindi niya ginamitan ng dahas or arms, irresistible force. Pero yung pumasok dun siya tapos talagang may pistol siya, rifle or whatever, or weapon, and then sabi niya, bigay, that is considered as force majeure, wala pong liability ang hotel. So purely nakaw lang talaga. This is very important kasi ito yung palagi nilalagay nyo. Kahit pumunta ka ng hotel, may nakalagay doon na hindi sila liable. That is void. Sabi po dito sa Article 2003. But before that, we have here 2022, the hotel keeper is not liable for compensation if the loss due to the acts of the guest. Of course, nabagsak mo yung GoPro mo dyan, tapos papabayaran mo sa kanila, hindi po pwede. Kung nilagay mo yung bag mo dun sa veranda, nabasa, hindi mo yung acts mo yan. Or family, or servants, visitors. Umakyat ang visitors, nagpaalam, tapos ninakawan ka, alam mo, friend kayo, ganun. That is not the liability of the hotel keeper. Again, liability lang nila, sila mismo, servants nila, employees nila, and robber without using irresistible force. Exemption. Hindi po pwede, shall be void. Sometimes, or most often rather, hotel keeper would post notice that they are free from any responsibility. They post notices. Sabi nila, they are not liable for any loss or destruction of the articles brought by the guests in the hotel. That notice is not valid. Void po yan siya, sabi ng batas. Okay? Hindi po natin yan siya ma-consider. Na 2004, the hotel keeper has the right to retain things brought into the security guest as a security for credit. So punta ka na ng hotel, check out ka na, wala ka pang bayad o kulang. Tapos hindi bigay sa iyo yung bag mo or pouch mo na nandun. Pwede ka bang magreklamo? Kasuhan mo ba sila ng estafa? The answer is no. Because under Article 2024, mayroon silang tinatawag na possessory lien. Kung nasa kanilang possession, pwede nilang hindi ibigay yun until such time na mabayaran mo fully ang obligation. This is the last topic, I think. This is the last. So, nagbabasa talaga kami namin. This is the last topic on deposit. Judicial deposit, sabi po natin ito, hoard. A judicial deposit or sequestration takes place when an attachment or seizure in litigation is ordered. So may property sa'yo, may helicopter siya. Iniwan niya sa hangar mo. And then, kinasuhan na siya ngayon. Involved siya sa pogo. May order ngayon ng korte na i-attach yan or i-seize, confiscate. Wala kang magawa. Diba? Movable or mobile could be subject of judicial deposit. Na-discuss na natin yan kanina. Ito po, when judicial deposit takes place, of course, by order of the court. By order of the court. Judicial deposit, attachment, like properties to be attached, etc. So, that ends our discussion on deposit. So, I will